Tonight, perhaps the best pitching matchup of what has already been a memorable series.
Swung off, fly ball, deep left field. Back Braves win! Braves win! Driven deep toward right. Forget about it. First pitch solo home run for Sid Bream. Berryhill gives that one a jolt. Deep toward right. That ball is out of here. Back-to-back home runs.
It'll be Greg Swindell against John Smoltz as the Braves go for a sweep and a 3.5 game lead. Everybody, and welcome to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where tonight the Atlanta Braves go for a 3-game sweep of the Cincinnati Reds as they try to extend their lead in the National League West to 3.5 games. I'm Pete Van Weeren along with Chip Carey welcoming you to Atlanta, and it's a banged-up Cincinnati Reds team the Braves are meeting tonight. 2 key injuries to Cincinnati players in this series, one of them in a most unusual fashion. Hal Morris in the on-deck circle Tuesday night strains a hamstring muscle. He went through with a pinch hit appearance, struck out, but it got no better overnight. He's on the 15-day disabled list. Then last night, Biff Roberts, trying to chase down a fly ball to deep center by David Justice, bangs into the wall. He suffers a strained neck, a mild concussion. He's hospitalized overnight. He's back here at the ballpark tonight in uniform, but he won't be able to play until probably this weekend against San Francisco. So a golden opportunity, Chip, for the Atlanta Braves to widen their lead in the West.
It'd be nice for Braves fans to see the Atlanta team up 3.5 games in the West. 2.5 games. Their current lead is the biggest lead an Atlanta team has had since 1983. And of the 3 games in this series, tonight's is perhaps the most important. The Braves team would like to be 3.5 up. If they lose, they're only a 1.5 up. And as well as they have played, it would be a shame to see them just gain 1 game on the Cincinnati Ball Club.
Well, there is no 3 knockdown rule in baseball, but a 3-game sweep by the Braves would certainly leave the Reds a little groggy. And we'll be back with the lineups and all the action from Atlanta right after this.
Another sellout crowd here at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. The 21st straight sellout hopes the Braves will be able to sweep Lou Piniella's Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Ball Club banged up, beaten up. They've had 12 players on the disabled list this year, and they have lost these 2 guys in this series. Biff Roberts, perhaps their most valuable player, 30 stolen bases. You saw the speed on defense as he actually caught that ball that David Justice hit last night before slamming into the wall. And then Hal Morris, their top RBI man against right-handed pitching, and very solid on the defensive side of things for the Cincinnati Ball Club. But they've got to rebound and make do with another makeshift lineup here tonight at the ballpark. Here's how they will line up. Dave Martinez at first, Reggie Sanders in center, then Barry Larkin with a long hitting streak at short. It's O'Neill, Braggs, and then Doran. Chris Sabo moved down to 7th in the batting order tonight. Joe Oliver behind the plate, and Greg Swindell is the pitcher. He'll bat 9th. The Atlanta defense, Ron Gant had a night off yesterday, is back in left. Nixon in center, Justice in right. Brian Hunter, the first baseman. Mark Lemke at second. Jeff Blauser at short. Terry Pendleton at third. The battery tonight, John Smoltz and Greg Olson. Smoltz tied for second in the National League with 13 wins. The ERA 2.57. He's also second with 149 strikeouts. He won his last start in San Francisco, went 8 strong innings, giving up a run on 6 hits. In his last 5 games, he's been almost unhittable. 4-0, an ERA under a half run a game. Lifetime against the Reds, he is 4-7, an ERA of 3.40. There's your umpiring crew behind the plate. Ed Rapuano, Charlie Williams at first, Jerry Davis at second, Doug Harvey is your umpire at third. Stepping into the batter's box, Dave Martinez to lead it off, and leading it off on play-by-play, here's Pete.
Okay, thank you, Chip, and good evening once again, everyone. Dave Martinez playing first base tonight, hitting .255, a homer, 19 runs driven in, and Smoltz's first pitch of the evening is high and away, ball 1. Another sellout crowd tonight. This will be number 21 in a row and number 36 on the season. All the weekend games with the Dodgers are sold out. There's a strike inside corner, 1-1. Your best bet for tickets on this homestand, the San Diego Padres series, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, up next week. There are some tickets remaining for all three of those games. Now the 1-1. That'll be out of play, and it's 1-2 now on Dave Martinez, who turned out to be a much more valuable pickup than Lou Piniella might have imagined when he came over to the Reds because of his versatility. He has been able to fill in twice now for Hal Morris at first base. Morris went on the DL earlier this year with a broken bone in his hand.
And that's been the case for a couple of other players on this ball club. How about Bill Doran? Can play second, can play first. Glenn Braggs can play left and right. They have a lot of different players who can play a lot of different positions, and that's really helpful for a manager.
It's really helpful with all the injuries they've had this year, and they have had a bunch. Strike three called. Looked like Smoltz pulled a string on that pitch.
Well, whatever Martinez was looking for, he didn't get it. It was a changeup, and right into the glove of Olson.
And Martinez took one final peek out of John Smoltz as if to say, where'd that pitch come from?
Right.
When you go up to hit against Smoltz, you're looking for hard stuff, fastballs and sliders. Now Reggie Sanders playing center field tonight. His third game back off the DL. 1 for 8 in the series. High and deep to left field. Ron Gant watches this one sail out of here. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. Home run number 5 for Reggie Sanders. And that's only the 9th home run hit in 24 starts off John Smoltz.
That one didn't take long to get out of here. Right down the middle. And about 6 rows up and left.
So the Reds jump on top 1-0 here in the top of the first. And the batter is Barry Larkin with a 14-game hitting streak. Taking a breaking ball strike outside corner. Larkin up to 298 now for the year. And a bad swing and a breaking ball. 0-2. You don't see him fooled that badly very often. Larkin only a .258 lifetime hitter against John Smoltz with 1 homer. Threw him nothing but breaking balls. That one hit deep to center field. Otis Nixon back to the warning track to haul it in for out number 2. 3 straight curveballs, and Larkin was sitting on that last one. But Nixon runs it down in deep center. 2 down now for Paul O'Neill. It's almost as if, Chip, in this first inning, the Braves decided that they wanted John Smoltz to pitch differently than he normally does. He's been throwing off-speed pitches, breaking balls, much more than you usually see him early in a game.
Well, you mentioned earlier he is a power pitcher. A lot of fastballs, a lot of sliders, and maybe their game plan was maybe the Reds would be looking for the fastball. Maybe you can get him off stride with the breaking stuff.
Well, here's Paul O'Neill, and he fouls back the first pitch, 0-1. O'Neill just 2 for 19 against the Braves this year, but both of those 2 hits home runs. One thing that Lou Piniella has tried to do each of the last 2 years with Paul O'Neill is to make him an everyday player, but he struggled so much against left-hand pitching that he's back playing as a platoon player right now.
Now he calls timeout. He might have hurt himself, or maybe he just needs a pine tar. Yeah, he needs some pine tar to get a little better grip on the bat. That's just what the Reds don't need. It's somebody else hurt taking a practice cut.
Boy, they have got Dibble, Sabo, Morris, Rijo, Larkin, Braggs, Reed, Hatcher, Reggie Sanders twice, Tom Browning, Hal Morris. All of them have been in the DL. I'll tell you what, even though he only went to the on-deck circle to get some pine tar, you wonder if he didn't strain a wrist or a hand or something on that last swing. He didn't look very comfortable after it, did he? 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 2 men out, 1 run in on the Reggie Sanders home run.
And again, another off-speed pitch from Smoltz. The pitch that Sanders hit out was a fastball. And it was right down the middle.
And that misses low and inside. 3-1. Sometimes that'll happen by design. A team will decide to, first time around the batting order, pitch a little differently than you normally do in your pattern. Sometimes it happens after you warm up in the bullpen and you've got one pitch that just doesn't feel real comfortable yet. So you stay away from it. And in this case, the fastball has been the pitch that Smoltz has been staying away from. Not that time. Bounce to first. Hunter's got it. And that'll do it for the Reds in the first inning. But a solo homer by Reggie Sanders has given Cincinnati an early jump. 1-0. Braves coming up bottom of the first.
Inning here at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. This is how the Braves will line up here in the third and final game against the Cincinnati Reds. Nixon in center. Blauser at short will bat second. Terry Pendleton, the third baseman, will hit third. Ron Gant back in the lineup tonight. He's the Braves cleanup man. And David Justice in right bats fifth. Brian Hunter at first will hit sixth. And the lower third of the Braves batting order tonight, Greg Olson behind the plate, Mark Lemke at second, and John Smoltz on the hill. Cincinnati's defense looks like this. Bragg, Sanders, and O'Neill the outfield. Sabo, Larkin, Gorin, and Dave Martinez the infield. Joe Oliver behind the plate, and Greg Swindell, the left-hander, the starting pitcher tonight for the Reds. He is 10-4 on the year with a good 2.65 earned run average. He does have 4 complete games, 2 shutouts, and has thrown complete games in his last 2 starts. The number that jumps out at you is only 33 walks in 159 innings with 98 strikeouts. The league hitting .262 against him. And the Braves have been able to touch him up for 4 home runs in just 15 innings of work. But he hasn't given up, has Swindell, a home run since June 24th, and maybe something will give here tonight.
It'll be Otis Nixon, Jeff Blauser, and Terry Pendleton here in the bottom half of the first inning against Greg Swindell. You saw the numbers on Swindell against the Braves. No record, though. No wins or losses. Both of his starts resulting in no decision. And here's Otis, 1 for 9 in this series. Would not surprise me at all to see Otis try to test out Dave Martinez at first immediately. See how he can handle the bunt on that first baseline. He's normally an outfielder. A ball high and away. Swindell with the 4 basic pitches: fastball, curve, slider, and changeup, and he'll throw them at any time, and he'll throw them for strikes at any time. Excellent control. Swinging and lining one deep to center. Sanders going back toward that wall. He's got it. Boy, that was almost a repeat performance of last night. He was only about a step shy of the wall when he caught Otis's fly ball.
For some reason tonight, the ball really carrying well to center field. If you look at the flag in center field, it's flowing in.
Run away, and Jeff Blauser will step in. Blauser at shortstop tonight. Rafael Belliard also injured in last night's game. He dislocated the little finger in his left hand, but he's all right. X-rays were negative, no broken bones. They popped that finger back into place. He's got good flexibility today and can play if needed tonight. But Blauser gets the start, nothing to 1 the count. High in the air, right out behind the back at second, Barry Larkin with a catch 2 down. Despite the way the Braves have handled the Reds in this series, Cincinnati's still up 7-5 in the season series. Braves have handled them well here, but they're 0-6 when they play the Reds in Cincinnati. After tonight's game, these 2 teams will only play 5 more times this year. Twice here and 3 times in Cincinnati. And now Terry Pendleton, the hero on Tuesday night, back up over 300 now with a .378 mark his last 10 games. A ball, no strikes on Terry Pendleton. Terry hitting .355 as a right-hand hitter this year. Good power, 7 homers and 138 at-bats right-handed. He has 8 home runs, but in 294 at-bats from the left side. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 men out, 1-0. Reds leading it. We're in the bottom of the first. Dodgers in town tomorrow night to open up a 4-game set. 2 balls and a strike down. Terry Pendleton. Note just came over the wire that a player just released by the Dodgers, Juan Samuel, has a new employer. The Kansas City Royals just signed Samuel to a contract for the remainder of the year. 2 balls and a strike now on Terry Pendleton. Into deep center field again. Sanders back toward the warning track to put it away. A couple of well-hit balls, but a 1-2-3 inning for Atlanta. In the bottom of the first, it's 1-0 Cincinnati after 1. We're going to the top half of inning 2. Glenn Braggs, Bill Doran, Chris Sabo do up. Cincinnati up 1-0 on the Reggie Sanders home run, and Glenn Braggs will lead it off. He's in left field tonight. Forget about his average for the season. He has been red hot for the Reds of late. He's only hitting .237 for the year, but 10 for his last 20. He's got a couple of red hot hitters. One of them not in the lineup tonight, Darnell Coles. And of course, Barry Larkin with a 14-game hitting streak. A ball, no strikes to Glenn Braggs. Fastball there, 1-1. Let's see if Smoltz uses the fastball more this inning. Couldn't tell in that dugout shot we had an inning ago how happy Leo Mazzoni was with all the off-speed stuff and breaking stuff Smoltz was using in the first inning. That missed high. 2-1.
There's sort of an old baseball adage, don't get beaten with your second or third best pitch. I think John would admit that his fastball is his best pitch. We'll see if he goes to war with it more here in this inning.
Well hit to left field. Ron Gant back near the track. Well, we've had some shots hit early in this game. I heard one of the meteorologists on radio today talking about the weather conditions tonight. And he was saying the humidity is going to be in the low to mid 70s, 72 to 75%, which is quite high. And he said that means the ball will be traveling. That's that old argument again. Does the ball travel when it's dry, or does the ball travel better when it's more humid? He was maintaining that the more humidity, the better the ball will travel. He may have been right, at least judging by some of the balls hit early in this game. Here's Bill Doran taking ball 1.
Well, Don's got that uphill stadium and downhill stadium stuff. Now
I'm not buying that, though.
That dry air, moist air stuff.
We get letters every year from people who argue for either side. Blauser puts it away, 2 down. And that'll bring up Chris Sabo. Sabo playing hurt. He's got a bad back. He's got a bad ankle. His ankle is going to require surgery when the season's over. It's his right ankle, and they tape it so tightly that he's really had to kind of change his batting style. It's all arms and wrists now. He really can't get much drive off that back leg. Hitting .248, 8 homers, 32 RBIs. A ball, no strikes on Sabo.
I think it's affected his fielding as well. He doesn't have the same mobility. In fact, in that first game of the series, he threw that ball to first that Otis Nixon hit off stride, off that foot. Got nothing on it at all.
Breaking ball missing. The count 2-0 now on Sabo. You really have to go down into Lou Pinella's office and get the starting lineup every night. Well, he uses a lot of different lineup combinations and batting orders. Take a player like Chris Sabo. He's hitting about 6 different spots in the batting order this year. In the left center field, that one's got a chance to fall. Gant gives it a diving try, can't get it. Nixon backing up will hold Sabo to a single. Hit number 2 off John Smoltz. Sabo has hit 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th in the Reds lineup at different times this year. Well, here's the catcher, Joe Oliver, batting .257 with 6 home runs. Braves have won 5 in a row after losing the first 2 games in that San Francisco series. A ball, no strikes on Oliver. Sabo chased back with the bad ankle. He doesn't run nearly as much as he used to. He's only stolen 4 bases this year, and he's been caught 4 times.
And when he runs the bases, the Reds want him to touch the bag with the left foot, not the right, so that he doesn't risk twisting it or jamming it even further.
High in the air, right side of the infield. Lemke should put this one away. And does for out number 3. Reds get a hit, and that's all. We go to the bottom half of the second. Still 1-0 Cincinnati.
Bell on TNT begins Sunday night at 8 o'clock when the Cincinnati Bengals take on the New York Giants. New Bengal head coach David Shula leads Cincinnati into the Meadowlands against the Giants as TNT kicks off the NFL preseason. Gary Bender and Pat Hayden bring you all the action Sunday at 8 o'clock on TNT.
We go to the bottom half of inning 2. Pete Van Weren, Chip Carey with you for the first half of the game tonight. Don Sutton finishing up that tough golf duty out in Northern California. He'll be rejoining us tomorrow. Then he heads off for more golf duty next week, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got the PGA
tournament.
Life's tough.
I tell you, he has a tough schedule.
He'll have his handicap down to about 18, right?
Minus about 14.
Right.
That'll be right here on TBS, the 13th through the 16th from Belle Reve Country Club in St. Louis. Beautiful place. Don's going to be a course reporter. Here's Ron Gant leading off the second. Boy, he's been going through a tough time of late. 6 for his last 37, and he has come out early the last 2 days to take extra batting practice from Clarence Jones, and it's the most animated I've ever seen Clarence Jones. He has really been on Ron. He's got 3 separate areas he's trying to work with Ron on. Footwork, number 1, the hands, number 2, and then the rhythm of the swing, number 3. He said, we're going to have to get you back in stages. The feet come first, he says. Squaring the bunt, taking a strike, 0-1.
It's tough enough hitting these major league pitchers, but when you have to go up there thinking about all that kind of stuff, it makes it even more difficult.
Best thing for Ron Gant would be to go about 3 for 4, maybe a couple of little chink hits.
Right.
Just maybe not think so much when you're up there, because that's the tendency of any hitter in a batting slump, to be thinking a little bit too much about what you're trying to do. And it has really been a project the last week for Clarence Jones, trying to get Gant going again. 2-1 the count.
Well, he's been a busy guy pretty much the entire month of July with David Justice as well. David says
David's swinging the bat much better
and
the
he's
last
starting
couple
to
of
feel
nights.
a lot more comfortable up there.
Damon Berryhill's also been a project that Pat Corrales has helped with. And he's been swinging a much better bat of late. 2-2 right now on Ron Gant. Well, Pat, one good thing about this coaching staff, nobody has one assignment only. These guys all work together, and nobody feels that somebody is stepping on their turf if they have a suggestion in hitting or in pitching or anything else. Off the handle into shallow right field. Warren puts it away. That's 4 in a row set down now by Greg Swindell. And now here is David Justice. Justice 6 hits in his last 13 at bats. Now at 248 for the year. Well, he had a big hit here on Tuesday night, a double with 2 strikes off Norm Charlton, the lefty. Drove in a run, helped the Braves get back in that game. Taking a strike inside corner. Greg Swindell with the Cleveland Indians for most of his career. Reds traded 2 pitchers, Jack Armstrong and Scott Scudder, to get Swindell, and it's a good thing they've got Swindell this year. He has really stabilized his pitching staff. Into left field. Oh, that ball almost sailed past Glenn Braggs, but he stayed with it, made the catch, 2 down.
And that's something we're seeing David Justice do more of, going to left field. And he said he's making a conscious effort to try to go that way. If the pitchers are going to pitch him outside, he's going to go with the ball and try to drive it the opposite way.
Of the 5 outs, there have been 3 that have been scorched by Atlanta. The ball hit by Otis Nixon to the warning track in deep center. Terry Pendleton's drive to the edge of the track in center field, and that ball hit by Justice. Now Brian Hunter. Strike at the knees, 0-1. Nothing Cincinnati, bottom half of inning 2. Swindell fastball. It's 0-2. Still 0-2 on Brian Hunter. You've got to be looking for a pitch to hit against Swindell when the count is 0-2. He's not one of those pitchers that bothers wasting a pitch or showcasing a pitch very much to set you up for the next one. He goes after a lot of hitters 0-2.
And with a 33 walk total, that tells you he's really a bulldog out there. He's going to try to get you. He's not going to issue a freebie.
He strikes out Brian Hunter, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for the Reds southpaw. Nothing doing for Atlanta. Still 1-0 Reds after 2.
Let's take a look at our Micaton National League complete games leaders. What's a surprise up top, isn't it? Smoltz and Glavin with 7 apiece. Phillies have another guy, Kurt Schilling, who isn't on that list, but about a third of his games have been complete games.
But that's been it for the Phillies in their starting pitching. They've used about 9 or 10 other people as starters in their rotation. And I think they've used 23 different pitchers already this year in their Philadelphia pitching staff. We go to the top of the third. Greg Swindell leads it off, hitting 133. First pitch swinging. Nice play. Terry Fenelon. One away in the third.
Well, Terry does it all, doesn't he? Good vertical leap there. Good throw.
He got off the ground pretty good that time.
You wouldn't think a guy with bad hamstrings would be able to jump that high. I think he surprised himself, too.
He's just telling John Smoltz, I used to do that all the time on the basketball court.
That's right.
Well, here's Dave Martinez again. He's giving Swindell time to get back to the Reds dugout. Martinez called out on strikes on a changeup back in the first inning. Strikes on Dave Martinez. Charlie Liebrad goes against Kevin Gross when the Dodgers come in tomorrow night. A lot of youngsters now in that Dodger lineup. They're playing a lot of kids this second half of the season. That's a fair ball down the right field line for Martinez. He'll get at least 2 out of it. Justice plays the Cara. Martinez pulls in standing with a 1-out double. Hit number 3 given up by John Smoltz.
Double number 11 on the year. Turned on a fastball that was coming down and in on it. And Tony Perez gives him the green light. Go for 2. He makes it standing up.
So a runner down at second now with 1 out for Reggie Sanders with that long home run to left. In the first inning, his 5th homer of the year. That's the only scoring in the game. Being here tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's also a special night. We're going to kick off the Pennies from Heaven campaign to raise money for former President Jimmy Carter's Atlanta project. They're going to have a stand set up out by the taxi stand here at the stadium. All they want your pennies. Just bring a pocket full of pennies and drop them off and help out the Atlanta project. And we will be very appreciative. 0-2 the count now on Reggie Sanders. He hit a fastball out of the park in the first inning with a count 0-2. He's probably not going to see a fastball for at least a couple of pitches. There's your runner at second, Dave Martinez, 1 man out. Top of the third, Reds leading at 1-0. He did see a fastball. He got one right up in his eyes. And Smoltz records his second strikeout.
Well, if you're going to have a fastball up, you want it really up, like this one. Sanders not quick enough to get around on it. Get any part of the bat on it. Second strikeout for Smoltz.
Now Barry Larkin, who flied to deep center his first time. trying to extend the 14-game hitting streak. One of the longest hitting streaks in the National League this year. Brett Butler has got the longest. Butler now at 19. Got him at second. And that's all for the Reds. We go to the bottom half of the third. Take another look at this pickoff.
The daylight play. There are a couple of ways a pitcher can help himself, and the pickoff is one of them. You see Blauser flashing in between the bag and the runner. That's called the daylight play. And a perfect throw right on the bag, and Martinez tagged himself out.
So we move along now to the bottom half of the third. It's still a 1-0 Cincinnati lead. Boy, all kinds of signs and banners and brooms and tomahawks and you name it. It's here at the ballpark tonight. And speaking of gold medals, congratulations to one of Atlanta's own, Decatur's Gwen Torrance. Won the gold medal today in Barcelona in the women's 200-meter sprint.
And I saw a brief score about the Dream Team. I think they...
Yeah, it was 127.76 over Lithuania. Greg Olson leads off the third, hitting .250. 3 home runs, 20 runs driven in. On a newspaper ad today where Olson is going to be making another autograph appearance at one of the local department stores tomorrow. He's become quite an entrepreneur, hasn't he?
Must need a new wardrobe.
Has a strike in the inside corner. He makes a lot of appearances around here. And not only against lefties, but the last 3-4 ball games, it hasn't really much mattered who's pitching. He's 4 for his last 8. That one down the right field line. Got a chance. Fair ball toward the corner. Olson's got one. Heads for second. O'Neill's throw back. A leadoff double for Greg Olson. His 11th double of the year.
And Pete, I have to wonder if Paul O'Neill is feeling well at all. He didn't really go after this ball. He went after it as if his back was hurting him a little bit. Watch, he sort of tiptoes down the right field line and into the corner. He plays the carom well, but he didn't look like he was running at 100% out there. And I'm not saying he's slacking. I don't think his back feels well.
I remember that swing, that one swing, that first at bat of O'Neill's. He grimaced a little bit, went back to the on-deck circle. Here's Mark Lemke, 7 for his last 19, taking a strike 0-1, hitting .225 for the year, hitting .299 lifetime against the Reds. A potential tying run in scoring position, nobody out. Lemke will try to get Olson over to third somehow. And that might get him all the way in. It'll get him at least to third. O'Neill, they're going to wave him. Here comes O'Neill's throw. Look out. He is out. A little surprising to see Greg Olson sent there. Paul O'Neill has a great throwing arm, but maybe Jimmy Williams, too, thought that O'Neill has a physical problem out there, and they took a chance. But O'Neill nailed him.
That's his 8th outfield assist of the year. Played the hop perfectly and throws a beautiful ball to the plate. 2 hops, and look at Oliver block the plate. And Olson just about got under the tag, but Oliver applied the tag in time.
So the situation eases considerably for Swindell. A runner first now with 1 out. And Smoltz squaring, took it high and away, ball 1.
Greg really digging for home. And I think he was surprised, too, that he got the green light. It was a close play. It took a perfect throw. The Reds got it. And Olson tagged out.
1 ball, no strikes on Smoltz. Lemke running. Smoltz hits a ground ball second. Bobbled a bit by Dorn. Safe at second and safe at first. Lemke moves to third. Smoltz down to second. The throw down there by Oliver. He's safe. Runners second and third. The Reds giveth as well as taketh away.
Well, we've seen some poor defense by the Reds in this series. That's their third error that they've committed. They came in as the best fielding team in the National League. If indeed they call it an error.
Well, they've got to call it an error. I was thinking the throw by Larkin. And if so, that'll be his second error of this series. And for Barry Larkin, he has only made 8 errors all year, 2 of them in this series. It's ruled an error on Larkin. And runners are at second and third. Otis Nixon flying to deep center his first time up. 1 man out, infield into the corners. Line drive, base hit, center field. Lemke scores. Smoltz being waved. Here comes the throw toward the plate. Cut off. 2-1 Atlanta.
His second hit of the series, a very profitable one. Into the gap. And they challenged the arm of Sanders in the outfield. This time, not enough on it. As it was cut off, and Otis Nixon puts the Braves in front.
RBIs number 16 and 17 for Nixon. This crowd has really come to life now. It's 2-1 Atlanta. Jeff Blauser, the batter. Still only 1 man out. Blauser popped to short his first time. To short again this time. Nope, it's going to be the first baseman taking it. Coming near the mound, Martinez. So 2 men are out. With Nixon still at first and Terry Pendle in the batter. This whole inning set up by that little bobble by Bill Doran. He did not get charged with the error. But everybody got out of sync on that play because of that little bobble. He was a little bit late getting the ball to Larkin. The runner was safe there. And then Larkin's throw to first, which was rushed, was bad. It wound up being a 2-base throwing error, putting 2 men in scoring position for the Nixon base hit. Without the bobble, they might have gotten a double play there, but out of the inning.
I think Larkin was surprised he even threw the ball to him. If he had gone to first, he would have had the easy out there.
Swindell, a good pickoff move. Nixon gets back. Otis has 24 stolen bases this year in 36 tries. On the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to Terry Pendleton. 2 runs, 3 hits for Atlanta. A run, 3 hits, and 1 error now for Cincinnati. The 2.5-game lead that the Braves have over the Cincinnati Reds. That's the most games the Braves have been in first place since 1983. They never had this big a lead last year. Off the handle toward third. Sabo has it. He'll throw on to first in time. And that'll do it for the Braves in the bottom of the third. But the Braves have grabbed the lead here. A 2-run base hit by Otis Nixon makes it 2-1 Braves heading to the fourth.
Thanks a lot. The Reds struggling in this series. They've lost the first 2 games, but they have been a tough team to sweep this year as Larkin stands in. Good breaking ball 0-1. The Reds have been swept in a series just 1 time this year. The Braves are hoping to make it 2. But a long way to go here. It's a 2-1 Braves lead. Good fastball 0-2. Earlier in the game, John was going with his off-speed stuff. A lot of curveballs, a lot of change-ups. Last inning and a half or so, he's really picked it up with the fastball. An 0-2 count. Let's see what they offer Larkin here. Breaking ball in the top ground. Last night, Steve Avery pitched, and pitched very well for the Atlanta team. 8 hits in 7 innings and 2/3. But he gave up a couple of hits on 0-2 counts. Sure, that's something John will try to avoid in this game. Upstairs with a fastball, 1 ball, 2
strikes. Braves
strikes.
pitchers have become much more conscious of that this year. Last year, they were hurt a lot on 0-2 pitches, even though the Braves went on to go to the World Series. A much better performance by all the pitchers this year when they're working 0-2 in the count.
Here the count's 1-2. Chopped left side. Blauser surrounds and guns. Low. Whoa! Hunter can't handle it. Larkin slides around first. The ball bounces into the stands, and I believe he'll get second base. And we'll see how they score it.
It'll be an error on Blauser. And almost all of his errors this year, and that is his 9th, have been throwing errors. Braves got a bad break there when that ball bounced past first base. It hit the railing in front of the Braves dugout, then bounced high in the air into the crowd. If it hits that railing and bounces back, they might have been able to hold Larkin at first.
As it stands, the 9th error of the year for Blauser. Larkin the tying run at second base, and Paul O'Neill the hitter. O'Neill had a funny-looking swing in his first at bat. We'll see how he fares here. 1 ball, no strikes. As Pete mentioned earlier in the game, this guy has but 2 hits against the Braves all year, but both of them were home runs.
The reason everybody's looking off to the side there is just as that pitch was coming in, somebody's blowing bubbles down in the box seat, and those bubbles floated right across the front of home plate just as that pitch was arriving.
It's 2-0.
Turn off at the bubble machine.
That's right. Braves in front 2-1. We are in the top half of the 4th inning here. Larkin will measure his leadoff second. He's missed 3-0. As a pitcher, I wonder if an error made behind you really rattles your concentration or your confidence.
Some pitchers it does, some pitchers it doesn't. A year ago, especially the first half of the year, I think it really would have rattled John Smoltz. But the way he's pitched since the All-Star break of last year, I don't think it bothers him at all anymore.
3 balls, no strikes. Be careful here. Got it over, 3-1. Smoltz on the season has struck out now 151 batters. He struck out 148 all of last year. That was in 36 starts. His career high is 170 strikeouts back in 1990. So he is obviously having a much better year. And he issues his first walk of the night to Paul O'Neill. So the Reds have him at first and second. Nobody out for Glenn Braggs, who really ripped one to left field, and Ron Gant caught it to lead off the second inning. Each team has committed an error. Each team has 3 hits. And the Braves are in front in the run column 2-1. The Reds are a very potent ball club.
One thing about their lineup, there's no particular part of the order that you have to pitch around to beat this club. They can beat you any part of the batting order. They're very, very solid 1 through 8 in the order.
And speaking of solid, Glenn Braggs, boy, this guy is really put together. Pitch. Got the fastball right through there, 0-1. Braggs 6'4", 220 pounds. I mean, Ron Gant is really pumped up with the weights and stuff. This guy is too. They had a biggest biceps contest in the National League. I would pick those 2. Breaking ball, fly ball left. Gant on his horse to the track. Shy of the wall, he's got room. And the runner tags at second, heads to third. So Braggs again flirts with a home run here, but flies out to left. Larkin a heads-up play, tags up and goes to third. That's where he stands with one out for Bill Doran.
Yeah, good base running by Barry Larkin, but even better play out there by Ron Gant. A lot of left fielders seeing Larkin take off would try to get him at third. They had no chance of getting him at third. By throwing to second, you keep the go-ahead run at first base and keep him out of scoring position.
And keep a double play possibility in order here. Bill Doran will try to make up for his miscue defensively last half inning. He popped the short his first time up. Lifetime a .316 hitter against John Smoltz. They're at double play depth. And he's taken a strike, 0-1. Doran has grounded into 10 double plays on the year. He and Hal Morris lead the Reds team in that category.
He's been playing with a bad leg all year, so he doesn't run nearly as well as he used to.
That missed outside. It evens it up 1-1.
Early in his career, batting from the left side, almost impossible to get him in a double play at first in a ground ball.
You have to wonder just how long the Reds are going to be able to keep up in the West. They're a terrific team, but you can't keep losing key players like they're losing them. Smoltz steps off. And I know you've mentioned and talked about it on broadcast how fortunate the Braves are that they haven't had a major debilitating injury to any of their frontline players. Losing Mike Pilecki certainly could hurt. That just missed. It's 2-1. But that's just about the only big injury the Braves have had this year.
Yeah, outside of Jeff Treadway, who missed the first couple of months of the season with the wrist injury, the hand injury. That's been about it. Tommy Gregg, who's down at Richmond right now. Dion's still ailing a little bit with some tendonitis in his right hand, but he's expected to be able to play this weekend.
2 balls and a strike. Bouncing ball right side. Diving stop. Lemke will have one play. The throw on to first. Larkin scores from third to tie the game. But Lemke made a nice diving stop and kept that ball from going into the outfield and saved the Braves a base.
Fine play by Lemke. His only chance for an out was at first base. And the heads-up play by Barry Larkin, tagging from second, and the fly ball by Braggs getting over to third. Wound up tying this ball game. He scores on the play.
And here's Sabo, who singled his first time up. Sabo 2 out of 9 in the series now. He takes high and tight, 1 ball, no strikes. Larkin led off the inning on a 2-base throwing error by Braves shortstop Jeff Plowser. O'Neill walked. Braggs fly deep to left. Doran grounded out to second, but the run scored on the play. Good breaking ball. John looks to have all his pitches going tonight, except the fastball. I don't think he has as much control with that pitch yet. The 1-1. Missed high, I guess. Smoltz thought that was a strike. So did everybody in the ballpark.
So did Greg Olson. He hesitated before returning the ball to Smoltz. A little surprised by the call.
O'Neill's the runner at second. 2 men out. The Reds have tied the game at 2. Breaking ball slapped through the hole. Plowser gets a glove on it. Long throw. He got it. Nothing wrong with Jeff's throwing arm on that play. He went deep into the hole and threw out Sabo. He is hobbled, yes, but a terrific play nonetheless by Jeff Plowser. The Reds get a run on an error. And we move to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 2.
Rise under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
It looks like that baby is behind the Braves. Let's hope those fans are right. It's 2-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Each team has 3 hits. Each team has committed an error. And Ronnie Gadd will lead it off. He popped out to Bill Doran his first time up. Gant, Justice, and Hunter here against Swindell. A 2-2 ball game. Atlanta trying to sweep Cincinnati and go to 64-42.
And more importantly, that possibility could put the Braves up 3.5 in the West. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
That win last night got the Braves winning percentage up to an even .600. And the Braves right now the only team in Major League Baseball with that high percentage.
Both Toronto and Oakland coming in today had 64 victories. The Braves with 63. Counts 2-0. And the Braves tomorrow night should go over the 2 million mark in attendance. Amazing. The off-speed stuff caught the corner. It's 2-1.
The Dodgers coming in here tomorrow night are going to feel like the Braves used to feel going into Dodger Stadium a few years ago. They'd be drawing about 2 million by this stage of the season. And it was always the Braves down the bottom of the division against a good Dodger team.
Fastball right through there. He's looking for something else. It's 2-2. Would you ever have imagined that the Braves would be at the 2 million mark in attendance in August if you were asked that question maybe 3 years ago?
No. Very easy to answer that.
That's bet. The 2-2. Home run cut, popped it up. Sabo will give chase. Look at him hobble. And it's out of play. It's almost sad to see him run.
He's going to try to gut it out, though, and get through this season, then undergo the ankle surgery at the end of the year. Tell you what these big crowds have done. The plans for the new stadium after the Olympics in 1997 will be the Braves' new baseball park. Plans right now call for that to be a 45,000-seat stadium. John Sherholtz, talking last night, said if this continues for the next 2 or 3 years, thinking about possibly expanding it to a 50,000-seat stadium.
He missed low, 3-2.
Way too early to really talk about that yet, but it's something that is in the back of Braves executive minds because of the great support the Braves have gotten these last couple of years.
The payoff. Late swing. And the second strikeout for Swindell. He doesn't like to walk people, does he?
No, he doesn't. And you can still tell that Ron Gant is a very confused young man up at the plate. Very uncomfortable looking swings being taken.
And there's the first out here in the 4th inning. Swindell with 2 strikeouts and no walks. He has hit the 100 mark in strikeouts. And David Justice, the hitter. David, 6 for his last 14. His bat heating up. Before that, he went 3 for 37.
And before that, a 13-game hitting streak. So it's been a very roller coaster kind of month for David Justice.
No balls and a strike. 1 man out. Breaking ball, got it through there. 0-2. That's the key to this guy, Greg Swindell. He gets ahead of people.
And there's another lesson from CJ to Ron Gant. Trying to help him, trying to get him going.
You love to see that happen. You love to see a guy try to help Ronnie out, but I think the circuit board might be just a little overloaded at this point. 1-2. He's thinking so much about what he's doing wrong, and fundamentally, I guess he feels nothing's working.
It's like when you go to play golf and you start thinking about 14 things at once.
You have no shot.
Nope.
1-2. Struck him out with a fastball. 3rd strikeout. This guy throws hard. Greg Swindell. He's a free agent at the end of the year, too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Wonder what his asking price will be. And Brian Hunter will greet him here with 2 outs. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. That's outside, 1-0.
The one thing Swindell does, he really keeps your team in a ball game. He's made 22 starts this year, and 16 of them he's gone at least 7 innings.
Driven toward left. That ball is going to be in for a base hit. Braggs could have taken a gamble and dived for that ball, but if he does, it rolls to the wall. Instead, he gives up the single and makes the Braves continue to hit with 2 outs.
He takes a bit of a gamble anyway here, even though he doesn't make the diving try for it. Watch him make this pickup on 1 hop barehanded. That's a little risky.
And Hunter now with 2 men out. Greg Olson doubled in the 3rd inning. Was thrown out at the plate when Mark Lemke singled to right. Popped up. Dave Martinez and Joe Oliver converge. It'll be Martinez in fair territory, and the inning is over. So the Braves get a 2-out single and leave him stranded. We've played 4 complete here in Atlanta. The Reds and Braves knotted at 2. Joe Oliver ready to lead things off here in the Cincinnati 5th inning. It'll be Oliver, Swindell, and then Dave Martinez against Braves right-hander John Smoltz. Oliver popped to second his first time. Fastball high and tight, 1-0. An interesting statistic about John Smoltz when he has pitched for the Braves this season. First, the 1-0 pitch. Popped down the right field line, long run for Justice, and he'll never get there. Count evens up 1-1. On the road, John Smoltz has been almost unbeatable. His record is 10-1. The earned run average away from this ballpark, 2.25. At Atlanta Fulton County Stadium this year, Smoltz 3-5 with a 3.03 earned run average. I asked Leo Mazzoni if there's a reason. He said no, and he never even knew that it was that big of a difference. Breaking ball upstairs. Here in Atlanta, Smoltz has given up 24 earned runs in 71 innings. 25 earned runs in 100 innings on the road. That's right at Pendleton. Bit of a high throw, but Hunter got back in time. 1 out in the 5th for the pitcher, Greg Swindell.
Routine play. Maybe Terry just nonchalanted this one a little bit. Throw sails on him. Hunter knew where the bag was, came right down on it. I want to send along some get well wishes tonight, Chip, to Kate Boatwright, Swainsboro, Georgia. 90 years old, never misses a Braves game.
The pitch to Swindell is a strike. It's 0-1. Swindell, a 131 hitter, has 4 RBIs. That missed away, evens it up 1-1. The Dodgers in town next. That's bounced to the right side. Hunter fields. Smoltz does his job, and Swindell just goes 3/4 of the way down the line. So the first 2 quickly retired here in the Cincinnati 5th inning. Tomorrow night, Charlie Liebright opens up the Dodgers series against Kevin Gross. Saturday, Pete Smith against Tom Candiotti. Sunday, Tom Glavine against Oral Hershiser. And then Monday, Steve Avery against Ramon Martinez.
And those games, again, are all sold out. Your best bet for tickets on this homestand next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights against San Diego. There are tickets available for all 3 of those games.
And I think Hal Galima mentioned this earlier. If the Braves continue their present pace of attendance, they could draw 3.1, 3.2 million, something along that line. A shade under 3-1, he tells me, which would be remarkable. 2 outs now for Dave Martinez, who struck out looking in the first, doubled, and was picked off. And that play ended the 3rd inning. Our score is 2-2. He showed bunt, took a strike. John Smoltz has a good curveball tonight. There's another one, but it's outside. Count evens 1-1. At 2 balls and a strike. The Reds, after this series, head home and play the Giants. Marty Brennan, their broadcaster, was worried that they might not have any players to take home with them. They're so beat up. That might have been a changeup, 2-2.
Almost the reverse tonight of the game Steve Avery pitched last night. In Avery's game, He had to go with mostly his fastball. He didn't have much breaking ball, much of a changeup last night. Almost the opposite for Smoltz tonight. His two best pitches have been his off-speed pitch and his breaking ball.
Martinez will dig in here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. It's full now, 3-2. John has a walk. And he has struck out 2 so far. Reggie Sanders waits on deck. The payoff. The changeup is hit to right field for a base hit. Martinez was a little off stride on that pitch, but he had just enough of it to serve it into right field. And that's the 4th hit of the night for the Cincinnati team. We'll see if the 2-out single hurts the Braves here as Reggie Sanders bats. He hit the first pitch he saw about 8 rows up into the left field seats. That put Cincinnati out in front 1-0. And he struck out back in the 3rd. So he's 1 for 2. Close play. Martinez, a speedy player. You got to pay attention to him over there. He has stolen 11 bases. He's been caught 6 times.
Almost had the Quinella on him there. They picked him off second back in the 3rd.
Popped up, tried to pull the breaking ball. And Pendleton will make the play at 3rd. He's got it. And the 2-out single doesn't hurt. The Reds get a 2-out hit, leave them stranded. We move to the home half of inning number 5. Braves 2 and the Reds 2.
We go to the bottom of the 5th. Joe Simpson, Skip Carey with you now. It's a 2-2 ball game, as you see, and not quite the pitching duel we thought it would be, Joe.
We thought it'd be a very low-scoring ball game. You can see that there are some people here that have completely lost their minds.
I did. I hope they're not driving.
But, no, I expected 1 run to be enough tonight, and there have been some line shots hit all over this ballpark against both Swindell and Smoltz.
And we go to the bottom of the 5th, and Mark Lemke will lead it off. Lemke, Smoltz, and Nixon, the first 3. Otis has the Atlanta RBIs with a solid single. Lemke singled to right his first time. Greg Olson was cut down at the plate trying to score on that one. The Lemmer is 8 for his last 20. It's 400 clip. He's up to 227 on the year, which isn't great, but it's better than the 190s, and he occupied that neighborhood for quite some time this year. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. I know Chip and Pete talked about the great control of Swindell, just 33 walks all year, 163 innings. And now that I say that, he falls behind 2-0.
Well, this is where he's been especially effective. He doesn't walk any leadoff guys. He went some 250 batters before he walked a leadoff guy this year.
High drive off the bat of Lemke. Back goes Braggs to the wall. It's gone. Lemke's 3rd of the year, the 12th given up by Swindell. He still hasn't walked the leadoff man.
And that's one reason he hasn't. If he falls behind, he lays some strikes in there, and Lemke was ready. Swindell with his 12th home run, as you point out, but the Braves have tattooed him for 5 of them. 2 by Hunter, 1 by Justice, 1 by Cabrera, and now 1 by Lemke.
Smoltz tried to hit one up. Count evens up, a ball and a strike. One and one is the count. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I think this recent surge by Lemke has a lot to do with his haircut.
Oh?
Yeah, I just That buzz cut, I mean, somehow he just seemed to get more bat speed when he got his hair cut.
An interesting theory by former Major League performer Joe Simpson.
Think Ron Gant would entertain that?
I think he'd try just about anything.
He would too.
Including decapitation if he thought it would help. 2-2 the count. Sit down, John. One away. That's strikeout number 4. Here's Otis. Nixon has line to center and single to center, driving in 2. The Dodgers come to town tomorrow. We'll have it for you on TBS at 7:45. One thing about it, if I were elected president, they could pretty well kiss that cable bill goodbye, couldn't they?
I think they would have no trouble with that. I just wouldn't want to be the Secret Service agents trying to follow you around.
They better be in shape. They didn't get much sleep, did they?
You don't have to worry about jogging, that's for sure.
Pitch to Nixon is a strike, 0-1. I said on radio Joe would be my Secretary of Treasury. It's the only way I could figure out to get him to pick up a check.
A chicken in every pot and a twist in every glass.
The 0 West. He bunts it foul back. It's 0-2. What will we do with Pete? Pete would be the
Secretary of Education.
Yeah, maybe either that or firearm and alcohol board, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn, of course, would be our chief of protocol. Downstairs, 1-2. Hit hard. Good play, Larkin. He wasn't exactly sure he had it, but he made the play and threw him out. 2 down.
Larkin's made 2 of the 3 errors committed by the Reds in this series. But you can see here the way he handled that short hop, why he is among the leaders in the league among shortstops defensively.
Jeff Blauser as a batter is twice popped out. 1 ball, no strikes. 3-2 Atlanta are scored, bottom of the 5th. He didn't pop out that time. A solid single to left. So Blauser is aboard with 2 out. 6 hits off Swindell. Barry Pendleton, the batter, is lined to center and bounced to third. Braves have 6 hits. The Reds have 4.
Just for the heck of it, I'd send Blauser to second base here just to get him in scoring position for Pendleton the way he's been swinging with runners in scoring position.
Not a bad idea. 10 of his last 13 with runners in scoring position. Blauser is 3 out of 6 in the stolen base department. There, he swung late, foul tipped it, 0-1. Lee Brad against Kevin Gross here tomorrow night, then Pete Smith and Tom Candiotti on Saturday. Sunday, it's Tom Glavine against Oral Hershiser, and Monday, Steve Avery against Ramon Martinez. We'll have all the games for you except Saturday. Oh, and 2 to count to Pendleton.
I think Ed Rapawano got the message.
I think so, too. CBS televises Saturday's game. That means that 105 advertised start will be about 1:45. The 0-2 instead to first, runner back.
Not a good pitch to run on, but sometimes a manager will send a runner in this situation just to get a guy like Pendleton another chance next inning if Blauser's thrown out.
High fastball, pop foul back and out of play. And he showed no signs of breaking from first base. 104 50 fans here from Curacao tonight, including the Lieutenant Governor of Curacao, and we thank them for their participation. Pendleton out of the batter's box for a moment. Ron Gant waits to hit next. Shot fair into the left field corner. Blauser around second. He's on his way to third. He's around third. The relay. The throw to the plate. He is safe. Pendleton does it again. It's 4-2.
The single by Blauser seemed kind of innocent, but anytime this guy comes up behind him, anything can happen, and the Braves are able to get another run on the 2-out double. It banged around down there for a while. Braggs barehanded it, but it was too late for him to get Blauser, who scored standing up. Kind of odd that Oliver pulled his leg back there, knowing that it was going to be a close play.
It's 4-2, and Ron Gant is the batter. Pendleton just keeps on keeping on. Boy, and he hit a pitch right down off his shoe top.
Yeah, Oliver wanted it away, and it came out over the plate a little bit, even though it was low.
Brown has popped the second and struck out. He's really fighting it. 6 for his last 39. Ball high and away, 1-0. It's not like Gant has taken this lightly. He's out here early every day trying to find the magic again.
Working his tail off, but he is trying to do so many different things at once, trying to get out of this slump. Working on his feet, working on his hands, his timing.
Hit hard off Sabo's glove. Pendleton around third. They're going to send it. It's 5-2. It's a base hit and an RBI for Gant.
Little things will put you into a slump. Little things will get you out, too. And maybe this hot smash that turns into a break for Gant and an RBI will get him going. Right now, that was a good swing, and he hit the ball hard. He just needs confidence.
Here's David Justice. No activity in the Cincinnati bullpen. But that's 8 hits, 5 runs off Swindell, 4 of them earned. David has lined to left and struck out. He has hit a home run earlier this year against the Reds, a left-hander. Brian Hunter waits on deck. Throw to first. Gant dives back in there. Brown with 26 stolen bases, not many lately. Can't steal first. There he goes. Did he foul tip that ball? Let's see. He did. Well, Gant's still at second. Now he has to return. And he comes up limping a little bit as he walks back toward first.
Dave's been swinging the bat a little bit better himself. He mentioned that he's had 6 hits in the last couple of 3 games. He's also got RBIs in his last 3 games, and that's only the second time all year that that's happened. But Gant calls time, and he's going to have to take a little extra time here to get straightened out. Maybe he hit the bag funny at second when he was pulling up.
Let's see if we can spot it here, Joe.
Started to stop and then sort of hit the bag hard when he was trying to come to a halt when Larkin was letting him know it was a foul ball.
You know, while we have a moment here, we should, I think, point something out. Yeah, Cincinnati's down right now. They've lost Browning. They've lost Morris. They've lost Pip Roberts, at least for a little while. But that doesn't mean this is going to suddenly get easy. Remember, it was last year when David Justice and Sid Bream were hurting. But the Braves got right back into the race right after the All-Star break. So these other professional athletes on the Cincinnati team get paid a lot of money too, and now they're going to have a chance to perform. So don't think it's going to be a cakewalk just because those guys are hurt.
And that skipper you saw in their dugout won't allow that to happen either. It's too competitive.
The 0-1 to Justice. Breaking ball, sweeps outside, evens it up to the ball and a strike.
Looks like Gant's going to be all right. But if I'm Justice, I think with Swindell out there, who's a tough pitcher, I'd like to have that hole on the right side to work with.
The lefty comes set. Pitch out, nothing happening, 2-1. With this guy, you can even pitch out on this count. His control is that good.
Piniella made a comment to me on Tuesday night. He said that there are a lot of similarities in these two ball clubs, but the biggest difference, he said, is Dave Justice. He said the Braves don't have to take him out of the lineup for a left-handed pitcher. He hits lefties so well. He said, with my outfielders, I've got to juggle them.
To first, runner back. And when you do that, when you platoon, then sometimes late in the game, you're back to where you started, and that guy's already gone. It happens to us at first base. O'Neill just has an awful time with left-handers. He's a tough hitter against righties. The 2-1 pitch. Oh, he had a good cut, but he fouled it into the upper deck, and it's 2-2.
Dave has a good look at the left-handers because he doesn't give in. He doesn't flinch on their breaking balls. He keeps that front side locked in on them. And when he does fall behind in the count, he's not afraid to just take one the other way, as he did his first time up when he lined one to left.
Go to first, runner back. Justice waits. Gant is running. A little tap. Down the first base line. Nobody's going to get there. Gant to third. Brian Hunter will be the batter.
Well, after 2 outs, this has turned into an adventure for Greg Swindell. Martinez made the play, but no way Swindell was going to be Justice to the bag. And Ron Gant was running on the play, and with 2 outs, you just keep going. And he did all the way to third.
Rothschild out for a word with his pitcher, and a right-hander goes to work in the bullpen for Cincinnati. Former Brave Dwayne Henry begins to throw. Brian Hunter has hit 2 home runs this year against Swindell.
When this series started, both sides were kind of taking it low-key. No big deal. It's still early August, unless somebody sweeps. And then everybody thought, well, if one of these teams sweeps, it does turn into a big deal. And this is a very big game for the Reds, not only because of their injuries and the fact that they're a little short-handed right now, but because in spite of the injuries, they could go back home right now with 1 win and still only be a game and a half out. And I think that would be a huge moral victory for them. But a sweep psychologically may be a different story.
Well, it's a long way from being over, but
I agree.
you'd rather be 3.5 up than 1.5 up. Here's Hunter. They're on the corners with 2 outs. Brian 1 for 2. He struck out the single. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Braves have pushed 3 across here. A leadoff homer, then 2 outs, and then 4 straight hits. Low and away, 2-0. It was a 2-0 pitch that Lemke hit out of the ballpark.
And when Swindell was behind Gant 2-0 earlier in the game, he threw him a couple of off-speed pitches that were beauties.
Good cut. He didn't get cheated. He missed it. 2-1. A pitch up.
And I think Swindell knows he got away with one there, too. And that certainly was not an off-speed pitch. Good fastball.
Oliver with a side. Pop foul back and out of play again. It's 2-2. He's getting good cuts at him, but the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To first. Justice scrambles back. Henry just about ready down in their bullpen. And the 2-2. Fly ball, right center field, well hit, but O'Neill is there, and the inning is over. Bryan hit it a long way, but out. Braves send 8 men to the plate. 5 of them hit, 3 of them score. 2 are left. At the end of 5, Braves 5, Reds 2.
Braves at the chop shop, but now it's time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. Who's the last switch hitter to win back-to-back National League batting titles? And we'll give you the answer to the trivia question next half inning. Last switch hitter.
Barry Larkin leads off the 6th inning. He has a 14-game hitting streak on the line.
The only guys I can think of are left-handed.
First pitch low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. That's my guess, and I'm sticking with it, Joe.
Well, we'll keep that noted for the next half inning.
Line into right field, but Justice is there waiting. Back 3 steps, 1 out. So Larkin is retired. Here's Paul O'Neill, 0 for 1 with a walk. O'Neill 7 out of 33 in his career against John Smoltz. One of those hits a homer.
Momentum-wise, big inning here for John Smoltz. He's got a 3-run lead. They can mow the Reds down this inning and get his hitters back up there. Might be a big swing for them momentum-wise and emotionally against this ball club that's in danger of being swept.
O'Neill fouls it back. It's 0-1. Our talent coordinator, Michelle Zarzaka, busy bugging the broadcasters up here tonight. She won't sit down because there's about a 200-pound cockroach on the roof. They grow big here. There's a fast strike over the outside corner. 0-2 the count. Lined into left field. Gant starts in, now goes back to out. 2 sharply hit balls, but nothing to show for it. Here's Glenn Braggs, who's hit the daylights out of the ball twice to deep left, but both times it's been caught. Don't forget, beginning next Thursday, CBS brings you the PGA Championship. All 4 rounds can be seen on CBS live from Belle Reeve Country Club in St. Louis. Thursday and Friday coverage begins at noon, Saturday and Sunday at 11. Here's Bragg. Bounced foul down the third base line. It's 0-1. Don Sutton will be involved in our coverage of that tournament. Don will be back with us, however, tomorrow night. Braggs waits. 0 away. 1-1. Two out, nobody aboard. Man, look where that thing's going to wind up. High and far down the left field line. But it's just a noisy strike, and it's 1-2.
The Reds are 28 and 30 overall on the road, but against the National League West on the road, only 12 and 20.
They have won the season series here in Atlanta the last 7 straight years. Almost hit him. It's 2-2.
Keeping an eye on Paul O'Neill just to find out if that flinch he made in the first inning when he was swinging the bat is carried through the ball game.
Bragg fights that one off. It's still 2-2.
Seemed to grab his side with his hand, but I'm not sure that it was his side that he hurt. It could have been his wrist or his hand that he injured on that swing.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, pretty good pitch.
Let's see how good. It was a good curveball. Made Bragg's flinch. It was over. Must have been high.
He chased a bad one, and the inning is over. Another curveball. John records his 3rd strikeout, and he gets him 1, 2, 3. Nothing doing. We move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Braves on top by 3.
Tonight's question was, who was the last switch hitter to win consecutive National League batting titles? The only guys I could think of with consecutive titles were left-handers like Dave Parker, but the answer is Pete Rose.
As predicted. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Greg Olson leads it off. Olson has doubled and has popped out. Both times to the right side. Curve is a good one right in there. Greg is becoming a conglomerate. He's doing some radio commercials. He's got an appearance scheduled Saturday at a local department store. And it's good. After all the years he toiled away in the minors, he's cashing in just fine.
Is he modeling swimwear Saturday?
I don't think so. And he's not teaching sliding either. No. Upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. 5-2 Atlanta, bottom of the 6th. Don Smoltz has a 4-hitter work. On the outside corner, it's 2-2. Somebody out here tonight has brought a big tom-tom and is hard at work with that thing continually.
A lot of differences between a big league pitcher and a minor league pitcher, but one of the biggest one is little perks like red gloves with your name on it.
Yeah, it's nice. The 2-2. This inside, he's run it full, and this doesn't happen very often. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball, right field. O'Neill is back. Just shy of the track. He puts it away, 1 down. So Olson is retired. Here's Lemke. He has singled, scored a run, and he is homered.
What about your acting debut? Is that coming up?
Oh, yeah. Well, not my debut. I'm a veteran of Slugger's Wife, one of the great baseball movies ever made.
That's right.
No, but I'm doing an audio bit for Married with Children. They're pretty smart. No on camera.
We're talking about a voiceover here?
Yes. In fact, I should rehearse it right now. It's really a big part. I've already memorized it.
All right.
The Atlanta Braves now take the field.
That's it?
Like I said, those people are smarter than you might think. That's it. 2-0 the count. I'm well prepared. I've already
Can we hear it again with
No.
a little emotion?
Now the pitch. Strike. 2-1. Now the Atlanta Braves take the field.
Punch it for me one time. Just punch it.
The pitch. Pop foul back this way and into the upper deck. 2-2 the count. Tell you, between acting and running for president, I barely have enough time to do the game. The 2-2 pitch. Did he go? They say he did. Lemke doesn't think so, but he is out of there.
Let's take a look. Oh, I've seen worse.
Plus, the home plate umpire called it himself, didn't even ask for help. Here's John Smoltz, who gets a well-deserved hand as he stands in. 2 out, nobody aboard. John now at 151 on the year. Home run cut, but he came up empty. Looking ahead to the 7th inning, the Reds will send Doran, Sabo, and Oliver up there against Smoltz. 0-2 the count.
There's a story about John in the paper here locally today. He may be the only 26-year-old I know of that's thinking about the senior golf tour already. And I know he swings better on the tour, on the golf course, than that.
Let's hope so. 1, 2, 3, nothing doing. At the end of 6, 5-2 Atlanta.
To Atlanta as we go to the top of the 7th inning. I want to remind you about some upcoming games here at the ballpark. A 4-game series with the Dodgers beginning tomorrow. Those games are all sold out, but some tickets remaining for the Padres series beginning on Tuesday night. And there are the numbers to call if you're interested in coming out to the yard and seeing for yourself what's going on here.
What's going on so far tonight is quite good. The Braves on top 5-2 as Bill Doran leads off the 7th inning. Didn't mean to, but fouled it back and out of play, 0-1. The annual father-child exhibition game will be held before the regular game on Sunday. Pete Van Leeuwen will be the play-by-play host. So if you're coming out to that one, come a little early and have some fun. The pitch. Curve a little bit inside. And on August 15th, the first reunion of the 1953 pennant-winning team, the Hazelhurst Baxley Cardinals, will be held down in Hazelhurst, Georgia. Doran is retired, 1 away. Chris Sabo is the batter. Sabo has singled and bounced to short. In the Canadian Football League, Toronto has taken a 25-6 lead over Winnipeg, 7:20 left in the 4th. Thanks for passing that along, Joe. You're a big help here tonight. The 5th. Popped up, right side. Brian Hunter has a beat on it. He surrounds it, and he catches it. 2 down. That is 6 in a row knocked over by John Smoltz. And Joe Oliver is the batter. Fastball low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Rafael Belliard begins to limber up in the Atlanta bullpen. Good to see that he's able to play after dislocating that finger last night. They say that was a gruesome sight. That baby was right angles, huh?
Right angle at the big knuckle on the little finger.
High drive, deep left field. Gant looks up at the wall and admires it. It is gone. Oliver's done it again. His 8th career home run against Atlanta. And the Reds draw closer. It's 5-3. And Swindell now will be called back. Oliver's been hitting .350 in his last 11 games. That's only his second hit ever against John Smoltz, his first homer.
He had a good game last night, too. He only got one hit, but he played an excellent game defensively, and he got a fastball put on a tee for him there, and he teed off.
So Swindell is through for the night. Let's see who comes popping out of that dugout. Benavides will be the pinch hitter. Freddie Benavides. He's 3 out of 6 as a pinch hitter, overall hitting .231. This thing far from over. It's a 5-3 ball game. And Benavides stands in there.
First time in 7 starts that Swindell has not pitched into the 7th inning. Been very consistent. Has been their best pitcher.
He lasted through 6 tonight. Smoltz into the line. High chop towards second. Lemke's got it, and the inning is over. Benavides, first pitch swinging, bounces out. Reds get a run on a hit. The homer by Oliver. No errors, nobody left. Bottom half of the 7th inning. New pitcher comes on for the Reds, and the Braves lead 5-3. Bottom half of the 7th inning, and Dwayne Henry is on to pitch for the Reds. The former Brave, former Astro, former Texas Ranger, has done a good job. He's 2-2 with an earned run average of 3 for the Reds this year. He'll face the top of the Atlanta order. Nixon, Blauser, and Pendleton are the first 3. Rafael Belliard will doubtless check into the game when we go to the 8th inning to play shortstop. Nixon is 1 out of 3, but it was a big hit, a 2-run single back in the 3rd. 5-3 our score. Another capacity crowd on hand, of course. And we're sold out for the weekend with the Dodgers, Monday night as well. There are tickets available for the Padres Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, but they're moving briskly, so if you want to come see the Braves in person, and we hope you do, get hopping. Nixon stands in there. Dwayne Henry has great stuff. His control, when he has problems, is normally the cause. Swindell went 6 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. Struck out 6, walked no one. Nixon hit it right back where it came from. Henry's got it. 1 out.
A nice defensive play. That was about to go through his legs for a base hit. And he doesn't allow too many hits. Squared up nicely and was able to knock it down and throw him out.
Jeff Blauser comes to the plate. He singled and scored in the 5th. He's 1 for 3 on the night. Braves 6 outs away from a sweep, if they can get those out. Threw the fastball right by him, nothing in 1.
You mentioned the walks, and that's always been a problem for Henry in his career, but he's been the toughest reliever in the National League to hit.
Started to go. Did he stop in time? He did. Charlie Williams with the call. And the count evens up here, a ball and a strike. Well, I got to wish happy birthday to my little pal Josh Terry, 11 years old today. Celebrating it away at camp the first time.
Well, that was nice of you to send him away on his birthday.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I'm on a guilt trip already. Leave me alone. The 1-2. Fouled it off his body at home plate. May have got him on the wrist. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Foul back,
Catch it, Michelle.
Hit off the booth next door.
You know, you could have reached out and got that one.
A little chopper foul again, so Henry and Blauser are having a duel here. Cardinals have the lead over the Pirates 1-0 in the fourth. We'll have all the scores for you shortly on the award-winning Delta scoreboard. Terry Pendleton waits on deck. Upstairs to Blauser, and the count evens at 2-2. 5-3 our score, top of the order for the Reds in the 8th inning. Got it. Slider low and away. Blauser out on strikes, 2 out in the inning. Henry records his first, and Terry Pendleton will be the batter.
If you do run for president, what will be your platform?
Reinforced. Pendleton stays in there. Fast strike outside corner. Rob Dibble up and throwing. You don't normally see him in these kind of spots with his team trailing. But he hasn't gotten any work in this series. A little bit low. It's even now at a ball and a strike. Swung on, line down the left field line. Bragg's on the run. Can't get there. Short hops the wall. Double for Pendleton. His second double of the night.
He has 2 hits and 4 trips, but don't forget his first time up, he had a rocket right at Sanders in center field. He is really in a groove right now, and maybe the Braves can get that run back they gave up in the top of the inning on Oliver's home run.
Ron Gant stands in there. He singled his last time. He's 1 for 3.
One of the things I've noticed about Gant when he's been taking his extra batting practice the last couple of days is that he's been taking his stride before the pitcher ever comes close to letting the ball go. And from center field, you should be able to watch that tonight.
He got out in front on that baby. Popped it foul down the left side. Out of play. 0-1.
And on that pitch, just like in batting practice, about 1 out of every 5 pitches to him, he seems to time it where he picks that foot up in batting practice and really rip one. He did it his last time up, but there he was out in front.
On the corner, 0-2.
A baseball hitting guru from years gone by, Harry the Hat Walker, used to have an old saying, pop and glide, see the ball before you stride. Ron's not seeing the ball before he strides right now.
And he's in the hole, 0-2. I never realized Harry was that poetic.
He was wonderful.
Strike 3 called, inning over, breaking ball. Gant flips the bat and the hat. And the inning comes to a close. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. We move on to the 8th inning. The Braves lead it by 2. CNN Sports tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Rafael Belliard, the new Atlanta shortstop, as we go to the 8th inning, and Dave Martinez leads things off. And John Smoltz deals a strike. It's 0-1. Activity in the Atlanta bullpen. Marvin Freeman and Kent Merker are up and throw. Martinez, Sanders, and Larkin, the first 3 here. Curve breaks inside. A ball and a strike. Smoltz has won 10 of his last 12 decisions, and he leads here. Curve a little bit low. Didn't 2-1. Any base runner brings a potential tying run to the plate. Smoltz is ready to go. Right through there with smoke. It's 2-2.
We know about his 7 complete games in which he's pitched 9 innings. He's also had 7 games where he's pitched 8 innings. And he's failed to pitch into the 7th in only 3 starts this year. That's consistent.
The 2-2 pitch. Out in front of an off-speed breaking ball. It's still 2-2. I'll tell you what, John Smoltz is a very viable candidate for Cy Young Award, taking nothing away from Tom Glavine, but Smoltz is certainly not out of the running. 2-2 the count. Tommy, by the way, the player pitcher of the month of July. We congratulate him for that. Martinez out of the batter's box. He is 2 out of 3 after being called out on strikes his first time. He doubled and singled. Into the dirt. He's run it full. 3-2.
And like you said, can't afford any freebies and bring up a potential tying run. He's going to have to make Martinez hit his way aboard here. Throw him a strike.
Smoltz has walked only 1 all night long. Well, now he's walked 2. He overthrew the fastball. So the tying run comes to the plate. In the person of Reggie Sanders, and now Bobby Cox begins to agonize in the Atlanta dugout. When, if at all, do you make a move? I think managers, I don't know how they stay sane. Players at least can run around and do something. He's trapped in that dugout with all the tension just building and building. And that's why you see guys flip out every now and then. Curve to Sanders misses. He can't throw the curve for a strike all of a sudden. 1-0. Sanders really blasted that home run in the first inning, high and far into the blue seats and left. He's been easy since.
Boy, good pitch there.
Smoltz really upset, and you don't see that from him very much. Terry Pendleton in, and Greg Olson doesn't turn around, but he is yapping away at Ed Rapuano.
But you know, he was set up. He had his target set up on the outside corner, and he had to reach for that one just a little bit.
Now Leo Mazzoni on his way to the mound. We appear headed for trouble here in the 8th. The outfield plays Sanders a little bit around toward right field.
That fastball had something on it, though. He didn't appear to be losing anything on the fastball. Sanders, Larkin, and O'Neill, the next 3 hitters. You mentioned that Sanders has gone down the last 2 times up after the home run. He's also pitched Barry Larkin very tough tonight. And that may be in Bobby's thinking as he leaves him out there.
2-0 the count. Sanders in his career is now 1 out of 7 against Smoltz. Larkin is 8 out of 34 against him. Martinez edges away at first. Swinging on the 2-0 pitch, he fouled it away. Had a pretty good cut. It's 2-1. Lou Piniella looks on from his dugout.
The way Reggie Sanders is swinging the bat, he looks like he's completely healed from that rib injury he suffered in that collision at home plate.
The 2-1 pitch. Good curveball, 2-2. Greg Olson with a sign.
Keep an eye on Sanders here. Looked like that last pitch. He might have taken a peek back at Olson just before the pitch was delivered.
Throw to first, runner back.
Brady trying to find out location from Olson.
You start doing that, you're going to wind up in a prone position
very quickly.
The 2-2 pitch. Challenged him with a fastball. He fought it off. It's still 2-2.
Some hitters are very sneaky about it. It's like they'll be looking at their bat as they bring the bat back into position, but they're really following the bat back just to take a look at the catcher.
Sam Perlozo runs through the signs at third base. Tony Perez coaches at first for Cincinnati. John hasn't had much luck against these guys. 4-7 lifetime.
Watch Sanders again. And a little peek back. Pretty obvious about it.
And he rifles one into left field, but Gant is there, and he's got it for the first out. Sanders hit that ball sharply, one away. Here's Larkin.
Yeah, as soon as the opposition finds out about that, they set you up. Make you think that the pitch is going away, and you start leaning out over the plate, and suddenly you've got some chin music.
And thanks to you, much of the opposition probably knows that. Way to go, Joe. Larkin 0 for 3, reached on an air. Maybe I'll make you in charge of the CIA.
Good camera work.
Larkin has flied to center, reached on an air and scored, and lined hard to right. High chop second. Out there. Safe at first. Boy, he gets down the line in great shape. They handle that ball beautifully. He just beat the wrap.
Good turn, too, by Belliard. You wonder how painful that was just to catch the ball in the left hand. But Larkin can do so many things well, and one of them is run.
And a good call by Charlie Williams on a bang-bang play. Well, here's a dangerous hitter, especially against a right-hander. O'Neill 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. He's got home run power. He has 11 of them. Leads their team. Fastball high and away. 1-0. If you get him here, then you got Braggs up there where he can only make it a one-run game. Dibble is throwing as if he's coming into this thing. High and away. 2-0. O'Neill out of the batter's box. Jim Beecham, Leo Mazzoni look off. Reich at the knees, outside corner. Leo looks like he's hypnotized, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's just... And it's not even a chair he's sitting in.
It's focused. Line to the center. Nixon on the run. He's there, and the inning is over. O'Neill hit it hard, but out. No hits, no runs, no errors, one left. Here comes Rob Dibble. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Braves on top 5-3. Rob Dibble has pitched 9 1/3 innings of shutout relief with 18 strikeouts in his 7 games since the All-Star game. Struck out 15 of the last 23 batters he has faced. And David Justice leads it off against him. Sid Bream moves on deck. Bream will stay in the game to play first base. Braves by 2. Fastball, foul back, 0-1. Boy, he runs it up there, doesn't he?
Just a little bit. A good matchup of a pair of guys that provided a little excitement in Riverfront Stadium.
Oh, man, we'll never forget that one. pitch. 0-2, throwing the breaking ball.
A hard one.
Bream's got to be thinking, I've been sitting over here for 2.5 hours now. I got to come out, get loose against this guy. The 0-2 pitch, here it is. Got it. Justice is out of there, and that's the 9th Atlanta batter to strike out tonight. Here's Sid Bream. By the way, unless the Reds tie it up here, Barry Larkin's 14-game hitting streak goes down to 2. Bream hit one out of here last night. Looking ahead to the 9th inning, the Reds send Braggs, Doran, and Sabo to the plate. The pitch. Fastball sounded high. 1 ball, no strikes. At the knees, inside corner, 1-1.
This is one of those situations where as a hitter you almost have to spread out a little bit just to shorten your stride, because if you take a big stride you got no chance.
He had a good cut, but he chased the high fastball, didn't get it. Who's the fastest guy you ever hit against? Nolan Ryan?
Yeah, I only faced him once though. Popped up. Gossage in his heyday could bring it up there.
The 1-2 pitch. Downstairs, 2-2. Did you ever feel fear in the batter's box?
Gossage a little bit, yeah. He was very intimidating. One time it was a similar situation. I had a pinch hit against him in the 9th inning, cold day in Yankee Stadium, and he walked me, and you can see the breath coming out of him, and I looked at him like, God, if he's just throwing a strike, he had me. He was mad at me for walking.
3-2, the count. He's still hanging out over there in the American League, isn't he? Payoff pitch to Sid Bream.
It wasn't actually fear. It was just a curiosity over how I was going to survive this.
Downstairs, he walked in. A 1-out walk for Bream. Olsen is the batter. I remember years ago I was in the Army Reserves with Bill White, who's now the president of the National League back in St. Louis. We were talking one day. He said one time hitting against Sandy Koufax the day after the Cardinals had clinched the pennant. So it was the only time you were really afraid. One ball, no strikes. And Mr. White was a pretty fair hitter. Good first baseman, too. High, lazy fly, short left. Braggs comes on. 2 out. Olsen had a pretty good pitch to hit and a good cut, but he popped it up. Well, here's Mark Lemke, who's been a big part of the success tonight. He has singled and scored, homered, and he has struck out. He now turns around and hits left-handed. John Smoltz moves on deck, so he's going to pitch on into the 9th inning. And hopefully right through it. Runner goes, throw by Oliver. He's in there. Now a base hit adds an insurance run.
The thundering herd of Sid Bream. He's 4 for 4.
Now, the only trouble with this is they may walk Lemke, and that would force a decision on Bobby Cox's part. But they're going to pitch to him. Ground ball to second. Doran has it on a nice convenient hop. And the inning is over. No hits, no runs, no errors, one left. We go to the ninth inning. The Braves need 3 outs for the sweep. They lead 5-3. We go to the ninth inning. Glenn Braggs will lead it off against John Smoltz. Merker and Pena now in the Atlanta bullpen. A left-hander works for the Reds. Sid Bream stays in the game to play first base, having stolen his 4th base of the year in as many tries. Braggs has hit the ball hard twice, but he's 0 for 3. Smoltz deals to him. No go. 1 ball, no strike. John again. Kicks and fires. Ground ball fair into the left field corner. So the tying run is at the plate again, and Bobby Cox again is faced with a big decision. Bill Doran will be the batter. Doran, a switch hitter, hitting .213 as a right-hand batter, .247 left-handed coming into this game. With a 2-run lead, Pendleton played wide of the bag. With a 1-run lead, he'd have probably fielded that ball, but
he's got 8 homers, and 6 of them have come left-handed, so that's his power side too this year.
that's tied for second on the Reds team in home runs. Fastball, fly ball, out of play, 0-1.
He's had some big hits with him late in ball games too, Skip. A lot of home runs that meant something.
He's hitting, I think, .315 in his career against us. He's gotten a lot of big hits against us, mostly when he played at Houston in his younger days. The 0-1 pitch. Curve, stayed high, got away with a pitch there. A ball and a strike. Chris Sabo is next. It's 5-3 Atlanta, but that's a shaky lead at the moment. Braggs at second with nobody out. High and away. It's 2-1. Pena and Merker getting ready. The Braves are going to be either 3.5 or 1.5 in front when this night comes to a close. Fouled it back, and the count evens 2-2. Chris Sabo is next, and then Joe Oliver. Fouled it off again, still 2-2.
Like he chased a ball there too that would have helped him get in a situation where he knew he was going to get a strike or a fastball strike.
Folks have some umbrellas up. Is it raining here? Must be. High pop into short left center field. Everybody chasing it. Belliard's got it. 1 out. Here's Chris Sabo.
Seems like that first out in the ninth is always hard to come by when you've only got a small lead, but Belliard stayed with that one, and credit him. I mean, he took a lump last night, dislocating his little finger, and he's backpedaling into the outfield knowing Gant's breathing down his neck.
Sabo stands in there. He is 1 out of 3, but he has feasted on Atlanta pitching this year. Took a terrible swing and a terrible pitch. 0-1. Joe Oliver moves on deck. Sabo out of the batter's box. He's playing with a very bad ankle. Just missed the outside corner to even it up for ball and a strike.
You can see that fastball away from Sabo too, because he's an outstanding fastball hitter. Stands well off the plate. which is a little unusual for a guy who can hit and turn on the ball like he can on a fastball. But he has some quick hands and quick bat.
He's been struggling since the All-Star break. Only 1 RBI and 35 at-bats. Sterak, 1-2. I would guess they'd curve him a little bit off the plate and see if he'll chase it.
Started at the middle of the plate and break it away.
And that's just what happened. 2 out in the ninth.
Textbook stuff right there. Excellent pitch by John Smoltz for the strikeout.
They're on their feet in Atlanta, but we're not out of the woods yet. Here's Oliver. He homered his last time. He's 1 for 3. He represents the tying run. Just missed the outside corner. Olson and Smoltz wanted it. 1 ball, no strikes.
And remember, the pitch he hit for a home run was a high fastball at the letters.
Curveball. This is a curveball up, and he fouled it off. 1-1. John took a little off, had him off stride, but it wasn't a good pitch, I don't think.
But he was sitting on the fastball. He was jumping on the fastball and didn't get it.
A ball and a strike to count. They chant sweep here. Strike 2. Another breaking ball. A ball and 2 strikes.
That breaking ball deserted him a couple of innings ago, but it's back here in the ninth when he needs it.
Bounce one up there now, John. Yes! With the curveball. And the Braves have swept the Reds, and they lead the West by 3.5. Listen to this crowd. Brother, that was a pretty stout-hearted job of pitching there. Braves win it 5-3 in totals and highlights right after this.
John Smoltz had to battle the last couple of innings to stay in this ball game and record his 8th complete game of the year, but watch his reaction after he struck out Joe Oliver to win this game. He definitely wanted it, and so did the Braves. They wanted the sweep. They got it, and they improved in the National League West to 3.5 games over Cincinnati. San Diego is playing Houston tonight, and they are just getting underway. But 3 in a row over the Reds, 6 in a row overall for the Braves, and they improved their record to 64-42, the best record in any league, in any division, in any league, in the major leagues. Totals in the ball game: 5 runs, 10 hits, and an error, and 6 men left for the Braves. 3 runs, 6 hits, an error, and 5 men left for the Cincinnati Reds. Smoltz improves to 14-6 now on the year. Greg Swindell sees his record fall to 10-5. Time of the game, 2 hours and 30 minutes. 44,768 here at the stadium. That's the 21st straight sellout here in Atlanta, 36th of the year, and they should go over the 2 million mark tomorrow night against the Dodgers. Our Holiday Inn player of the game is Mark Lemke. And the reason for it is because he had himself a pretty good night. 2 for 4, a single, and a home run off Swindell. For Lemke, his 3rd home run of the year, and that's the spark that got the Braves started in the 5th inning, in which they scored 3 runs. This was the go-ahead run. And for his efforts, Lemke is our Holiday Inn player of the game.
And in the other baseball, Montreal leads Philadelphia 7-4 now as the Phils bat in the bottom of the 7th. Marquise Grissom has a homer. Delano DeShields has hit a couple of them. Chicago 4-1 over New York behind Greg Maddux. Olivares and Drabek hooked up in a tie game in St. Louis. Houston and San Diego a bit later. In the American League, Frank Viola, a winner over the Yankees. Chicago beat Minnesota 5-3. Kurt McCaskill got the win. Milwaukee defeated Seattle 4-2. Jaime Navarro now 12-7. Kansas City edged California 7-6, and our old buddy Juan Berenguer, the winner there. Toronto leading Detroit 12-6 after 5. No score in Texas. Kelly Downs and Nolan Ryan pitching that one. The Dodgers come to town tomorrow night. Charlie Leibrandt will oppose Kevin Gross. We'll have it for you at 7:35 Eastern Time. The movie Joe Kidd is next on the Superstation with Clint Eastwood and Robert Duvall. That's a good one, and we commend it to you. See you tomorrow night at 7:35. For Joe and Pete and Don and Chip and our entire TBS crew, Skip Carey from the ballpark. So long, everybody.